Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Taurus. And our card is from Tarot of the Abyss. And the card tonight is the King of Swords. Let's take a look at what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell when you do. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. It's free to subscribe. Okay. So, there's this repeating kind of symbolism of balancing here. Lots of trying to balance things. We have, let's see, right here, it looks like kind of things stacked upon each other. We also have a person here with something kind of on top of its head, like balancing something on its head. And then here we have, it looks like a person with their hand out, and they have another person who is standing on their hand, kind of a balancing act there. So I feel like this is a time where, yeah, it feels like a lot of things are in play. You are definitely trying to balance different aspects of your life. And usually I think you do really well at this kind of thing. I think that you're really good at, going from like your work life to your home life and your social life and your spiritual work and, whatever else, all the other things that go in between. And you're pretty good at keeping it all going, right? Without everything kind of falling down. Now, I do think that when I see this, it's like you are focused on really looking at it, right? And we know what happens when you kind of get into a place where you can kind of do things just like kind of innately, right? Or you've trained yourself, you have the muscle memory to do things, listen to your intuition, just kind of feel it out and know how to make the moves that you need to make. But when you stop and you really look at something, it's like your focus has shifted, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm really hyper focused on how it feels to be holding up this stuff and doing this thing, and then it starts to slip and you kind of get in your own way. Okay, so I do think we have that King of Swords. I think there's a sense of maybe overthinking some stuff. Okay, I think that you are stressing yourself out. I think that you're fully prepared for whatever's going on. I think that you have spent a lot of time getting everything kind of sorted and ready, and you're absolutely prepared. But I think it's like you're finding reasons to kind of, tinker with stuff and maybe, change my plan a little bit here and shift this a little bit. And then it's like now everything is kind of coming apart at the seams. So why is this happening? What is going on? And then I think it really comes down to thinking about, do you start over again in kind of figuring out whatever this is. Now, if this is something to do with your job or a relationship or some kind of domestic dynamic or something to do with your routine or whatever. You know, I think that before you go kind of switching things up, you have to stop and think, what is really going on? Why am I all of a sudden feeling this way? Is there something off? Is this like a intuitive feeling like rising in me? And I have to kind of really look at everything with a, you know, for the fine details. Or is this kind of a self-sabotage deal? Am I kind of like a little, I'm on the cusp of kind of executing this thing, and now I'm kind of worried about it. I don't know. I'm scared if it doesn't go well. I'm scared if it does go well, you know? And so I think this is something to kind of, you know, really, really think about. But I also see we have right here, we have a knight, and you can see also the sword and then the horse, and it's galloping, right? So I feel like ultimately there is a sense of going right into the heart of this thing. And, you know, I'm trying to think like exactly what this could be because it is kind of vague, but I do feel like this is something like maybe taking like switching jobs, maybe you're moving, you know, maybe you're beginning a relationship or getting into a more serious level of relationship. Maybe you are leaving a relationship, you know, that could be too. But I do think whatever it is, this is really important, and it's core to the way that your life will be set up for at least a little bit. So it's a big decision. I think you've already made it though, you know, and I think that a lot of this is kind of a normal behavior that you have. I think this is something that happens with you, is that you start questioning yourself right at the very end, you know, of the preparation, and then kind of, you know, it makes it difficult to enjoy the ride of it all because you've done all this work and you are getting ready to, you know, whatever, move or move in together. Maybe that's what it is, or start this new job. And it's like, you're so stressed out that you can't really enjoy the thing. So I think it's important that you take some, you know, time. I know it's probably a busy time with everything going on, but making sure that you take a few moments at least for yourself. Do some things that help you feel grounded, okay? Go for a walk. Go to a favorite place. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. You know, go to the water. Be in water. Water is a really kind of grounding thing. It gets you into your center. And even if it's like taking a shower, okay, just do something that is going to be helpful for you, because I feel like there's not a lot of sign here that you're going to turn around and stop this thing. But I want you to be able to be present in the experience rather than kind of, you know, dissociated from it, in a place of anxiety or worry or dread that things are going to fall apart. You know, being in the thing that you've worked so hard for it's an important part of it, right? Okay, let's see. Now we have a bird up here with its beak next to the sun, okay? So I do feel like there's a sense of the arrival of, well, if you think of this, the sun card, the soul card, kind of vibrant and dancing and basking in that glorious light. And I feel like there's good news on the way. I feel like there's a real sense of success. And with that sun card, it is so clear. It's not like just a little tiny win here and barely perceivable, this is a big thing. This is going to be a big thing in your life. I think this is something that you will be proud of. I think this is something that you will be happy to kind of share with the world. And so, you know, I feel like it will be delivered soon. You just have to get out of your own way here and, you know, and not self-sabotage so that you are able to be a part of the experience. Now we also have a P right here. So a P word seems important, maybe a name. And we have a person who is kind of pointing this way. We also have a, let's see, what is that? 22 down here, or 2.2. We have a large bird up here, a stork. We also have a face. You can see the eye, the nose. And so I wonder if with the stork, I feel that there is maybe a child on the way. It might not be your baby, but it is a baby within the family or community within your life. So this is good news. This is good news, and it feels like a really happy time as well. Pointing towards the back, though. What is going on with that? So I feel like, I almost feel like this is kind of, it feels like a miracle. Like maybe the person who is having the child did not think they could conceive. Like they really had no idea that they were going to be able to have a baby. And I almost wonder if you maybe went to see a psychic or had a reading, a tarot reading or something in the past. Or maybe you had some kind of dream about this baby coming into your life. And I wonder if this is like a grandchild maybe, or maybe you are having a child, or maybe like a sister having a child, brother, sister. But whatever it is, I feel like this is something, it's like, I knew this was going to I knew it was coming. I had kind of information about this already. And looking back into that past and thinking, wow, this is really amazing that this, you know, that this came through and it really did happen. Now we also have a cardinal right here. So I feel like family is there as well that has transcended. So maybe some of your elders, and they are blessing this. They are blessing the situation. And it feels like a time where there's just so much excitement. And this maybe is like the first grandchild or the first of this group of kids that will be coming into the family. And it feels like there will be a few more pretty soon. I mean, just, you know, and that's how it happens in families, isn't it? All of a sudden, there's an onslaught of beautiful children showing up. And so, yeah, this is going to be a nice time, I think. And there's a confirmation of family being around. Really, it seems like you all have like a very, your ancestry hangs around, right? It's very populated. Okay, so we also have a possum right here. And so I feel like, and I know we just talked about this in another Taurus reading, there is this feeling of kind of going off and doing your own thing for a while. And I kind of get the same feeling in a way. There's this possum feeling, which if you know the possum, they well, they're nocturnal, so they are kind of fairly solitary, although they do have tons of babies and things. But they are very adverse to human contact unless they've been kind of socialized. But they seem scary. I think people for a long time thought, oh, these are scary and mean little things. But, you know, they hiss. They're not mean. They won't attack you. They're not aggressive. They just kind of freak out and run off. Or play dead, right? So I feel like there's just a sense of being in the night side yourself and kind of just going about your business, not really bothering anybody, not being bothered by anybody. And I feel like this is kind of where, you know, some of your best work happens. Now, that's not to say that you are somebody who is like super introverted or antisocial or asocial or anything like that. But I do think you go through these periods of time where you kind of detach a little bit and you like to just go about your own tasks in your own little universe. And you know, if somebody turns on the porch light and comes outside and spooks you, you might give them a hiss. But I think this is a really peaceful time in a lot of ways. I think that, you know, you have a lot of stuff going on where you're trying to get it all together. You're doing some juggling and you're balancing plates and, you know, all of that kind of thing. And I think that, you know, part of it is that maybe the reason that you're so focused on everything that's going on is that you are kind of in this space of somewhat isolated, I would say. At least, like, you might be among people a lot, but I don't feel like you're talking to them very deeply, communicating. I think you just kind of, you know, there's the little interactions, but then it's kind of back to your own internal dialogue and the work that you're doing. So I think, you know, even though you are in this kind of place, I think sometimes it's important for us to offset being too much in our mind by doing other things as well. If that's intentional movement or, you know, some kind of hobby, or if you play a sport or, you know, do puzzles or play games or whatever it is, having something to distract yourself a little bit. Okay. So that you have other input coming in that is enjoyable, that is something that's not stressing you out, and giving you a space for a little bit of a reprieve from this kind of mental evolution that you're going through right now. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What do we have over here? So we have 26. You can see a 2 and a 6. 26. Okay, so I feel like I almost feel like there's something with a neighbor going on. And whereas you usually kind of maybe get along with this person, I almost feel like there was a weird interaction, or there's just some kind of energy that has shifted with them. And I feel like this, for one reason or another, it just really feels kind of bothersome to you. And I feel like maybe you're a person that likes to get things resolved, but with this neighbor, you know, which is tricky with neighbors. You know, they're not always our friends. We might be friendly, but they're not always our friends. So you have to be kind of mindful about how we like talk to them and how much we share with them, and having boundaries. That's a big thing. So I feel like it's it's something where you want to kind of get everything out in the open and get it worked out. And I feel like there's something about it where you feel an anxiety about maybe they'll take it the wrong way, or this could get worse rather than better. But I do think I'm looking at this and I feel like there will be a resolution and a compromise here. And I think that this is something that, I feel like these people, that they're usually pretty reasonable, but it's kind of built up in your mind a little bit. So, I think it's always a good idea to have all your bases covered, and to, like I said, have boundaries and not get overly emotional or angry or anything like this with the neighbors, because you have to live alongside them. But also it's important to find some kind of closure in the situation as well. So I do see that coming here, and I also have a little sail ship on here. So I feel like the energies here will be clearing out. Okay. I also feel like this is maybe part of this thing where you're overthinking things a little bit. And it kind of gets really kind of built up in your mind. And it's hard to get past that sometimes, because you worry, I think, you kind of ruminate on things, and that can be difficult for sure. I'm no stranger to that myself. Okay, so we have the divine doors. Let's see where these doors are going to take us. I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. And so it says, silent skill. I challenge you to unpack your mind. In meditation's grace, the soul can unwind. Breathe in, breathe out, let go of doubt. There we go. The cards tell you to go meditate, do some breath work, go look up some, what's his name, Wim Hof. go try some of that. When I was pregnant, my husband got me into Wim Hof, and we did the cold exposure. We live in a place that's very cold during the winter, so we would do some cold exposure and breath work and stuff, and yeah, very invigorating. It actually really helped with my anxieties quite a bit. So definitely something to think about. Or just, there are a lot of different kinds of breath work that you can look into for sure. Okay, so Taurus, thank you for spending some time with me for this bonus reading. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And it is free to subscribe. If you would like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all, and they mean the world to me. All right. I love you. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk in just a couple of days.